Do any of y'all out there ever just sit down on the bench without any idea what you're going to do, but think, I want to tie something fun? Well, that's kind of what I did today. Hello everybody, welcome to Savage Flies. I'm Matt, thanks for stopping by. So just a couple weeks ago, I did a book swap with Rick Jones from Colorado, and Rick sent me this really cool book, Jack Dennis Western Trout Fly Tying Manual. Now this was published in 1974, but you can still buy new copies of it out there on Amazon for about $20, or a used copy I think for about $10. And it's really a pretty cool book. In the introduction, he talks a little bit about the difference between Western and Eastern flies. You know how Western flies are typically more heavily hackled, and then the streamers are a good bit bigger. Now the book is just a little bit dated. The pictures in here, I'll go through. You can see that they're black and white, but there's pretty good tying instructions. And then there are a few color plates in the middle of some of the flies. So about today's pattern, I was flipping through here and I saw one called a Marabou streamer. Now there's no history to this pattern. It's one of those that was probably created by, hundreds of people over the years. But it caught my eye because this one in this book had a Cactus Chenille for the body and then just Marabou wing. So it's a really simple pattern to tie, but I got to looking at it and thinking, well, this could be a very versatile pattern. I mean, you can get a lot of mileage out of something like this. Now you could get almost an infinite number of these flies just by varying the colors of the three components. Now if you see in the thumbnail, I just tied that one pretty standard, a black body and then a gray and white wing. But the one you're about to see, I did get a little bit crazy with the colors, and I think that was kind of fun. Now, before we get into today's tie, if you're interested in the fly tying contest, stick around to the end. I'll give you an update on that. So back to today's pattern. Very simple pattern. Can be very versatile. I think you're going to like it. Let's give it a shot. So there you go, in the vise, a Marabou streamer. Now, this is a size 6. It's a 5X long, but you can definitely tie it on a 3 extra long. Let's go ahead and bend the barb down right there. So your choice of hook and your size, it's really flexible. And I don't know if I mentioned it in the intro, but the coolest thing about this fly is it is really a pattern that you can get a lot of mileage out of. I mean, the color combinations are really infinite. So that last one I just showed you was a black body and a white and gray Marabou. This one, now let's get crazy. We'll do something totally unexpected or unique here. Now that is 140 denier in a black thread, as you can tell. And typically I'm using a 70 denier, but it's a streamer. I can get away with a thicker thread. So I'm going to put some red yarn. Now this is a 4-strand. I'm going to just catch it in right here, and you don't have to worry about leaving a big bump because we got a big fat chenille body on it. So just catch this in good and tight and snip it off. Not quite a hook gap, just whatever your preference is. Let's say right there. And I'm going to go ahead and fluff this out before I tie the rest in. So just use your bodkin or toothbrush or whatever you want. Just fluff this up. You can see that's 4 strands right there. I'm just trying to just fluff it up, almost like a black-nosed dace tail. And that's good enough right there. So let's just snip it off, make it nice and sharp. Okay, so what I'm thinking, we're getting a little crazy. I'm looking at my Marabou here. I've got some red, white, black, and gray and green. I don't want to do green because it'll clash with this green background. So let's go with, I'm going to do a red and white. Okay, so we're going to have a red and white wing. Now we just pick what color body we want. What do you think will look good? Okay, got some silver. That's a pretty cool looking Cactus Chenille right there. But is that crazy enough? I don't know. I've got a couple others here. What do you think? Pink? No, that's crazy, definitely. Orange and purple, definitely crazy. Oh, here we go, blue. Blue, look at that. All right, and if we go red and white wing, blue body, we'll have an American Marabou streamer. That's kind of cool. So take about 8 inches of this stuff right here. We are putting it on pretty pretty thick and a pretty long hook. Okay, let's just catch this blue Cactus Chenille on here. And if I can remember, I'll put a link to this multicolored pack of Cactus Chenille that I got. It's really pretty cool, and it's probably had 15 colors or so. All right, now just take your thread right back up to the front. And the last one I did use my rotary on it because, you know, it made it a lot faster. So if you have a rotary, now's a good time to use it. I'm not going to now because with the camera in the backdrop here, it gets in the way and I just make a big mess. So I'll do this by hand and then speed it up. Okay, that looks fine right there. I'm gonna go ahead and catch it off. Now I haven't fished enough of these Cactus Chenille bodies to know how durable this is. You could always put a reinforced rib through there. Just leave your thread tag long and do that, or some wire. You don't really need any flash because, well, it's pretty flashy right there as it is. So leave your thread, I don't know, a couple eye lengths back because we're tying in 2 tufts of Marabou. And what we said, we're going to go red and white. And what the Orvis book did say, it said put the darker color on top. You know, does it really matter? I don't know. They also said tie it in a little bit more than you think you're going to need. So that looks kind of cool right there. And what I always do, lick my fingers and mat this down. That's a pretty big tuft right there, but you can mat it down to help you tie it in. So there we go. That's a little bit tighter right there. I'm gonna go ahead and snip this off. Just right here. Might make it a little bit easier. We might still have some to trim, but we might not. So catch that in right there. And don't worry about making a big head. This is a streamer. And you can make a big head on it. You can make a huge head and paint eyes on it. I thought about doing that on the last one. Okay, so there's our white wing. Now we're gonna put a red wing on it. Maybe a black would look kind of cool on there too, but I already got the red out. So I might take just a little bit less of the red than I did the white. Okay, I think that might be a little bit less. Now lick my fingers again. I'm just gonna lay that right on top. And I'll do the same thing. Go ahead and cut this fluff out of the way. And then just a little pinch wrap right there. Keep it on top. I didn't catch them all. I think I've got most of them right there. A little bit might come out. That's going to be fine. And now, how's that head going to look? It's going to look a little bit messy. So, do we want to trim this? Maybe. Singe it, trim it, or just don't worry about it and bury it. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of trimming right there. Now just take your thread right back to the eye and build your ramp back up. There we go. I'm not putting eyes on it, so I think that head's big enough. If I was going to paint some eyes on it, I'd make it a good bit bigger than that. But let's go ahead and whip finish it and we'll put some head cement on it. We could almost give this fly a name. Something patriotic, I suppose, if you're an American watching this. So what I'll do here, I'll pull my thread out perpendicular to my head and then just put my scissors in there and poke them through, or just snip them. Got one little feather coming off right there. But that's it. That's all there is to these Marabou streamers, the one with the Cactus Chenille body. I think it's a really cool looking pattern. It's going to be easy to tie, and again, it's got to be versatile. You could just tie this in any color combination. So that's it, my friends. I appreciate you watching. All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I just want to give you a quick update to the fly tying contest. I'll put a link to it right at the end of this one. If you haven't seen that video and you're interested, definitely check it out. We've got about 18 entries so far, and we've got about 10 more days. I'm going to be taking the flies up until May 14th. Now I got 4 more today. I got one from Peterson, Frankie, Richard, and Rocky. So I'm going to be opening these and filing them tonight. So remember how we're going to be doing this, taking the top 10 entries and then putting those names in a hat and drawing one winner for the Regal Revolution Vise. So it's a pretty cool prize. I think a lot of you have a good chance at winning it. So if you were on the fence about participating, hey, give it a shot. It's going to be a pretty fun time. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.